Good morning and welcome to Angel's Haven. This is definitely a video that would be easier to record if I had a selfie stick or some other method of holding a phone or a camera up while I moved around, but I'm going to give it a shot. I made a long video last week that requires editing, and when I figure out how to edit it, I will upload that. And it was basically a video of making changes and cleaning my tiny house and talking about let's see, where's that sun? Okay, the sun's really bright today, so I'm moving a little bit. Anyway, it was talking about cleaning a tiny house, and if I get an opportunity to figure out how to edit it, I will. In the meantime, this video is intended to tell you about some things I really like about living in my tiny house and going tiny in general, but specific to the way that I did it. So I'm going to turn the orientation around and show you a few things that I like about Angel's Haven. Okay, so you have a view of my door. Let's move off that. In general, one of the first things I want to mention is the fact that I've made my house in a way that allows me to incorporate things from my past life, my prior life, years before. I don't mean I'm living a different life, it's all my life, but I was able to bring art that I love, figurines, my angel collection, furniture that I love, mementos of my prior days, photographs of my mother or my son. That's my Uncle Francis. There's Queen's birth certificate. No, baptismal certificate, sorry. Just things from my life. The much disputed secretary that belonged to my mother-in-law, which contains, for example, that yellow picture was my mother's. I use the bird glasses. Thank you very much, Joyce. I use my vases when I have fresh flowers. These are things that came from my life that I've accumulated. Not by far everything I accumulated, but things that I decided to keep. Now you see my house is not particularly neat and tidy right at this moment. I wanted to particularly shoot this video showing you what real life is like in my tiny house. When I'm expecting someone to come over, I put my clean dishes away, I pick up things from the table, that sort of thing. But the fact that I was able to create a tiny space that nonetheless incorporates things that I love and value, totally amazing. So from a practical standpoint, and you can see I hang up laundry to dry on the ladder rail, but I was going to mention my washer dryer. I have this washer dryer on the first floor of my traditional house. Put it in maybe 2014, and I had a full-size washer and dryer in the basement, but this allowed me to do small loads. A lot of people say that they have trouble with their units drying. I had trouble with mine until I learned how to take care of it. You do have to run tub clean once a month. That's a cycle using a product that cleans the tub, and there is, as you can see, a little door which enables you to clean lint. When I figured that out, actually I was told that, and then I didn't have any problem. It dries. The things that are hanging are things that I don't dry. I wouldn't dry anywhere. So I love my washer-dryer combo, and I'm glad that I was able to incorporate it in the design. Something else I really love about my tiny house is the shelves and cupboard. Now that I have them the way that they are, originally there was one shelf on the wall where both shelves now are, and the other shelf was on the wall where the cupboard is. My friend Sheldon Vogt made the bottom shelf the bigger of the two, and it matches the top shelf, which my father made when I was in high school or maybe early college. And I really like them, but they weren't practical for food storage. Derek Campbell built the cupboard, and it is very practical for food storage. Excuse me. And I really like it. So the fact that, my goodness, the fact that I was able to reconfigure without losing the shelves made a huge difference to my life. Okay, moving on. Another thing I really like is the fact that I was able to incorporate wood from the house in Kansas City. That railing, the trim on these cupboard doors. Actually, I'm embarrassed to say that one of these knobs fell off. I can't find the little nut. I have to get a replacement. But Derek Campbell trimmed those doors using wood from my house in Kansas City. The cupboard in the bathroom under the sink is from my house in Kansas City. There's more wood up there on that railing. Pardon me, move out. That's from my house in Kansas City. The bench over here that Derek built, that's from my house in Kansas City. Yes, I miss Derek. So anyway, he moved to Montana with his beautiful wife, Kelly. Anyway, the fact that I have that wood incorporated, I really like. The other thing I really like about the way I designed this house is that by and large, with the exception of that drop-down bench, which was not original to the house, I don't have built-in furniture. I have real furniture. And that was a big goal of mine. Now, this is my sitting room, which, again, I originally didn't have. I had a built-in bed here. And you've seen a video, I'm sure, in which I've explained why I changed my arrangement. I really like having actual furniture. I've watched a lot of tiny house videos with built-in couches, built-in benches, banquettes, that sort of thing. That's just not for me. I wanted real furniture. I thought that built-in bed would work. It did have great storage drawers under it, but the rest of the storage was unusable. I would have had to convert it to a bed with a lift, and I found that I just didn't like it. I wanted real furniture. I now have a real bed up there. Again, my house is not neat and tidy right at this moment, but I wanted to have you see what it's like in real life. And this is what it's like in real life. So I really like that I have actual furniture, an actual love seat, an actual chair, an actual bench, that sort of thing. I'm really not fond of that built-in look. I have my original Amish table, bedside table, which I've had since high school. Shout out to my St. Louis friends. I bought it at Vet Village in the inner city in St. Louis. Another thing I like about my house is the windows. Now, I would make some changes to the windows. For example, that window up there does not open. It's basically a transom window. I did not know it was going to be a transom window. I knew that that window was going to be a non-opening, strictly light transom window, but I would like to put a different window in there, and I do plan to. What I like about the windows is that they open side to side. That was one of my requests from my builder. I'm not very good physically with up and down motions. You can't see me, but I'm going up and down with my arm. That's hard for me, but I can do side to side. So that worked out really well. I did not put a window on this wall because, well, to be quite honest with you, I have a very large piece of art and I knew I wanted it on this wall. Shout out to Genevieve Casey, the photographer of the bigger photograph that you see up there. This print is by Marianne Coonrod. It's actually not a print, it's a watercolor. And but primarily the reason I didn't put a window here is I knew I had to have somewhere to have storage. So I wanted to have one unbroken wall for storage. I do regret not putting a skylight there, for example. I didn't put a skylight because I've heard there are a lot of maintenance, and I didn't think I would be able to do it myself. So that's something I regret. I could add that, and I might, but on the other hand, I might not. So, love the windows. I could use more windows, but I do like the ones that I have. Let's see, what else do I like? Let's talk about my love-hate relationship with this ceiling fan. I love the fan. Anyone that knew me during the time that I was building this house and looking at ceiling fans knows that I, at one time, had 50 browser pages open on my laptop of ceiling fans. And picked this one. Came from Home Depot. I think it cost under $100, maybe $75 or $80. Its look is exactly what I wanted. I wanted the wood tone of that railing, and this was as close as I could get for the money I wanted to spend. Here's what I don't like about it. So the love part is I love the look of it. I love the tone of the metal. It sort of picks up, a slightly industrial look to go with my very, country look of my wood. What I don't like about it is the dome and the fact that the bulbs are not open. So, as you can see, well, you might not be able to see. Let me turn it off. No, you can't really tell, but it does not give off as much light as I would like. And it's very hard to change. I have to get someone else to change the light bulbs. It also doesn't seem to work very well. Like the bulbs go out, even if I buy those 5-year bulbs, they go out in 6 months. So I don't know what to say. So anyway, love-hate relationship with this light. Like the way the blades look. Like having a ceiling fan. Don't like the light part of it. So, also, those changed. I can't even reach them. But anyway, so there you have it. My love-hate relationship with a ceiling fan. So let's talk about storage. I like my storage. I still have a sweater issue. I'm sure there's a 12-step program for people that have 25 cardigans. For those of you who knew me in Kansas City, I went from having 12 feet of hanging storage in a finished attic space to having 21 inches. And this, behind this curtain that you see here, there's my finger pointing to, that's 21 inches. I feel as though that should be enough, but it's not. My clothes are jammed in there, and I don't really have a lot of clothes anymore. I'll show you my hanging clothes, and they get wrinkled, so that's an issue. I added this bracket curtain rod situation. I made this curtain myself from a remnant of fabric that I carried around for 3 or 4 years, and I like it. So I like the steps and the storage a lot, but where that wicker cabinet is, there are 2 little tables in there, and the piece of wood that I use for a keyboard tray, basically, when I use my laptop. I think every once in a while about building drawers into this, where the wicker cabinet is, and I might do that. But I do like the storage. That little chair that you see in there with the stool under it, the chair came from a flea market in Lodi. Fits in there perfectly. That little bench, it's called a Schamli, which is an Austrian word for little bench. My father made it. It's modeled after ones that my great-grandfather made. And they just seem to fit in there perfectly. I use them all the time. So, great storage. If you don't know this, or whether you do or not, I'll remind you, the steps were designed by Sheldon Vogt. They have a slightly lower rise and a slightly longer run than normal steps. That gives me the angle that makes it easier for me to go up and down. That's why I'm still able to use stairs. Well, I can go up and down stairs. I'm not so disabled that I can't, but it makes it easier. Frankly, I am disabled, and it makes it easier. So I like that. So those are just some of the things I like about my house. I particularly wanted to video when I had not picked up. I wanted you to see how I really live. And there I am in the mirror. Today I choose joy. Is that what it says? Yes, today I choose joy. And always. So, thanks for spending a few minutes of my tiny life with me. And I hope you were... Oh, wait, before I sign off, I have to say a word, because it's in the video that has to be edited. You will see that my desk is now where my fold-down table normally would be. Shout out to Sheldon. I love that table, but my problem with it, and why I'm not currently using it, is it extends out over the bottom step. And I either have to put it up every time I want to go up and down stairs, or crawl around it. I've been crawling around it for 2.5 years. I figured out I'm not going to put it up every day or every time I want to go up and down the stairs. I also had originally that was a writing loft, and my desk was up there. And then a couple of weeks ago, I moved my desk down here into the sitting area. I felt like it was too crowded, and I also had been wanting to address this table situation. As beautiful as it is, it was not really working. It wasn't wide enough to accommodate 2 people. That desk has leaves which fold out. You can see the hinges on this side. I can seat 4 people at that table. And I'm going to live with this for a while. And so now I've pretty much eliminated the video that I did last week, so I guess I don't need to edit it. Oh, one other change I made that I didn't talk about yet, I took the big mattress out of the guest loft and I put a roll-up Japanese futon there. So now it's not so crowded. So anyway, now I will say thanks for spending a few minutes of my tiny life with me. I do straighten my house up once in a while, but I wanted you to see it, how I really live. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I will say goodbye. There's my hand. I will say goodbye, and I'll see you next time.